SAfm, South Africa's news and information leader.
Thank you, Kim. In our top stories, a landmark ruling in favor of people in debt and a warning about land policy confusion. Good afternoon. A Johannesburg couple is celebrating after the Constitutional Court ruled that all defaulting debtors must receive notice before creditors take action against them. Mashelo Sibula and his wife applied to the court for rescission of a default judgment on the basis that they never received notice from their creditor. The creditor, Standard Bank, had issued notice advising them of their rights, including the option to refer the agreement to a debt counsellor. This is how Justice Edwin Cameron handed down judgment.
Section 129, read with 130 of that Act, requires credit providers, before taking legal proceedings to recover debts, to provide consumers with a notice that advises them of their right to refer the credit agreement to a debt counsellor, alternative dispute resolution agent, consumer court or ombud, in order to resolve any dispute that may exist under the agreement.
Constitutional law expert Pierre De Vos says President Jacob Zuma can only fire suspended National Police Commissioner Bheki Cele if there is evidence that he contravened the Police Service Act. De Vos says such a decision would depend on the strength of the findings and recommendations made in the report by the Commission of Inquiry into Cele's fitness to hold office.
The President can only act in accordance with the law and what the law allows him to do. But given that the courts are a little bit reluctant to interfere with this kind of decision, so unless there's clear evidence that there's no basis for the firing, depending on what is in the report, if the report actually doesn't contain any strong findings against Cele, then obviously there will be a problem and it could be challenged in court.
Deputy Agriculture Minister and Freedom Front Plus leader Pieter Mulder has warned that the ANC's failure to clarify its position on land ownership will eventually threaten food production. He is addressing the Cape Town Press Club. Mulder says many farmers are worried about the ANC Youth League's call for land to be expropriated without compensation. He says many farmers have already moved to other countries because of uncertainty.
How do I get farmers amid all the uncertainty to create jobs and to help develop the rural areas? How do you prevent them from leaving for Mozambique and Georgia, as some have done already? At this moment, there are 24 African countries that are asking for South African farmers. 24. Even Gaddafi asked, with all sorts of plans to get them there. 15 years ago, there were 60,000 commercial farmers in South Africa. Today, there are approximately 37,000. They have to produce at the moment food for 50 million, and they succeed in that.
South African businesses are losing confidence in the country's business sector. The latest South African Chamber of Commerce and Industry figures show that the Business Confidence Index for May 2012 declined by a further 1.5 index points to 92.8 from 94.3 in April 2012. The BCI is currently 8.4 index points lower than in May 2011 when it registered 101.2. The Chamber says the latest BCI is at its lowest level since November 2002 when it stood at 92.1. The Chamber says the current downward trend in the BCI that started in April 2011 is due to weakening economic circumstances both abroad and domestically. Saki says this poses serious challenges to the business environment in South Africa. A new CCTV footage system is being piloted at the White Level Crossing in Retreat in the Cape Peninsula. Western Cape Transport Minister Robin Carlyle says it is linked to the Metrorail signal system and gets activated when the booms go down. Carlyle says offenders will face stiff criminal charges. He also says the system will also be rolled out to the Butskop level crossing, the site of a taxi accident in which 10 children were killed, as well as other identified hotspots. The initiative is a partnership between the City of Cape Town, the provincial government and Metrorail. And finally, further afield, the Spanish government will try to raise money on credit markets only days after it said it was impossible to access any funds due to the prohibitively high borrowing costs. The move, which includes raising 1.6 billion euros in bonds, is a test of the market's ability to pay.